I wanted to be sure, I'm not sure if Barbara mentioned in the Better Letter, we're so excited about what the Better Letter is going to be and what it's going to have in it. It's going to have great curated content in it. We hope to share some of your amazing stories in there and some of your great big wins. And so it's going to kind of like be a recap of the week to make you feel really good and positive, and we'll have tools and tips and tricks. In order to get the newsletter, Mia is going to paste a link in the comments. And so you just click on the link and then you go subscribe. I want to be sure that when you subscribe, that if it ends up in your junk, you have to go tell your email thing that it's not junk, because if not, it'll just keep ending up in junk. And we want you to read it because we put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah. We can send it out, I think, on Sundays so that you have that as a resource for the weekend.
Yeah, kind of make you feel good. Last week, we put some of the stuff from last week was our LinkedIn secrets and the kind of self triage tips, which I think Mia is going to put the link in for the self triage tips again in the comments, because it has a little bit about journaling. So if you weren't there last week, you can kind of get my journaling sheet. So there's that. Okay, so on the journaling side of things, I want to just make one note. And that is that just because I have a journal system doesn't mean it's your journal system. The thing is, it's not what system you use, it's making a system that works for you and then getting it organized, because you can sit and think and have those negative thoughts running around. It's like I see this little guy running on a track, a quarter-mile track at my high school, with all these negative things and all of these things going on in my head. And I'm like, stop the madness. That is what journaling does for me. And so if I have a good positive thought about myself, like, hey, somebody said I was so-and-so today, I'm gonna go write that down. And if I have a negative thought in my head, I'm gonna go to that funny little tab. It's like my good word, bad word, words that describe me tab. And if it's a negative one, I'm going to put negative and then I'm going to scratch it off and I'm going to rephrase it into something a little bit more positive. And that's what we have to go back to, is that we have to get back to who we are. In this pandemic, changes in jobs, changes in life has allowed us the time, even if it's only 10 minutes a day, to get back to actually who you are in this life. We're like 50, people talk about midlife. I guess their midlife crisis at 40. I'm like, no way, man. I'm up here. I got another 50 years to go. Right. Right. And so what am I going to do with the rest of those 50 years? It's going to be all about Janet. That's what it's going to be, and who I am and what I'm doing. So, so those are my 2 cents.
Yeah. And if anybody has questions about their journal, to put it in. And like you said, everybody's can look a little bit different. You might do it at different times of day. You may just have one book. You may have just a notepad, maybe to like put down some thoughts. And so whatever works for you, but it's has been proven. And Janet talked about words that describe you. Is that what you called it, Janet?
Yeah.
And it reminds me of how when we say something bad about ourselves, which we're so bad, like even Rachel Hollis has that book, Girls Stop Apologizing. But I mean, I even did it this morning before this meeting, put myself down. And your body chemically can't tell the difference if somebody comes into the office and puts me down or if I put myself down. And I think about, for those who remember, the tennis player Martina Navratilova, and I'm pretty proud of myself for being able to say that. Martina Navratilova, I actually got to see her in her prime at a very small venue in Texas. And it was really interesting because whenever she would mess up, and she's just like solid muscle, I mean, that ball, you could hardly keep up with it. It's going so back and forth. But here she is in her prime. And whenever she would mess up, she would scream. And remember, she's not from the United States, but she would scream, "You dodo brain, you dodo brain." And she would yell at herself. And I'm like, my blood pressure just rose, just like even thinking about that, right? And so imagine what that does to your whole, like the chemical things in your system. But anyway, that's what she did whenever she messed up.
Well, I stopped that last year. I stopped it last year. I had this big, come to Jesus moment with myself. It was like 2 a.m. and duked it out. I decided I wasn't going to do it anymore. And it was this really weird moment of taking that thing, that's, limiting self-belief monster, and kicking it to the curb. And I kicked it to the curb, and I feel really good about it. And so anyway, journaling will definitely help you. Call it what you want. If you don't want to call it journaling, call it writing my thoughts down. I don't care what you call it, but I'm telling you, it is absolutely 100% pivotal. I'm a big data person. I'm a big research person. And when you do self-research, it's called journaling. And when you go back and you look at your self-research, you can see this is where I was at that point in my life. And now I'm here. I can't believe I thought about myself like that a year ago or 2 years ago or however long. I've been journaling since, I think, in third grade. It's your own self-research, ladies. Write it down so that you can see your progress, and it will help you, I promise.